So imagine a tropical getaway to the mountains, the ocean, someplace beautiful, someplace like ACHA. Hey everybody, I'm Sadhu.
I'm Jalen.
I'm Ruben Knox.
I'm Valerie Pam.
I'm Eliza, and we're table 8.
So this is our flag. The colors consist of maroon, navy blue, and white. Maroon represents passion and ambition. Navy blue represents wisdom and reliability. And white represents safety and equality. Our swords represent justice, protection, and strength. And the 9 white stars across the flag represent our government, represents our oligarchy, which we will get to in a minute. And our motto is where beauty is found, because ACHA means beauty.
So where we're located, CACHA is located on the west coastline of South America. We have a little bit of everything, which means we have a diverse landscape. We have rainforests, ocean fronts, and Andes Mountains. Our climate is typically warm, with an average of 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect weather for tropical weather for people to enjoy. And geographically, we have neighboring countries, which is Peru, Chile, and Bolivia.
And as stated previously, our government is an oligarchy made of 9 council members. Now, different from a traditional what you think of as a council, not every member has the same responsibilities. So imagine like we have the FDA, or like the health organizations in the US. So each council member has a very specific dedicated job. For example, one oversees foreign relations as far as like diplomatic things like treaties and sending aid and immigration. Another council member might be focused on science. Think of like your NASA, nuclear energy, advancements in our technology. So basically each of these 9 officials has a separate specialized field that they're experts in. And this is to ensure that everybody's protected and everything is done to the very best of their abilities. Now how council positions work is that they are lifelong terms. So basically when one is made to be a council member, they serve that term until they either die or willingly retire. Now, the replacements and successors for these council members are chosen, handpicked directly by the person they are replacing. Of course, if at any given moment, the fellow council members do not agree with their pick for their surpassor or what laws they wanted to put in place, they can veto it with the majority, 5 out of the remaining 8 council members, to overturn their decision and reinstate somebody else. And so in order to ensure that there is some semblance of meritocracy, all government officials and oligarchy members are only eligible to be chosen from a prestigious academy in the capital. And so, for example, if you're the successor to the military official, you have had to go to school for that specific position, and you've had to work under their specific district. And that brings us to our economy, which is a mixed economy with both elements of capitalism and command. We encourage business, we encourage growth, and we like entrepreneurship. However, we do have limits on essential fields like housing, agriculture, and medication. So basically how this works is, government will set a limit on how high things could be priced. So for example, you won't see the rampant profit margins of insulin, for example. That would be limited in order for public welfare. And another thing is we prevent monopolies. So if we think that, this company wants to buy another company or merge with a bunch of its competitors, we want to ensure that market suppression by these larger corporations doesn't happen. So if they want to merge their company or buy another company, the large company must first submit an application or ask for permission from the council members if they can do this transaction. And if we think it's harmful to the economy, the oligarchy can say no.
So the businesses that we are mostly trying to attract is tourism. Like Eliza said, we're located on the western coast of South America, and we're surrounded by Bolivia, Chile, and Peru. And so we think that our location does play a big part when people want to come to visit. But CACHA is also popular for its flea markets and authentic food. And if we were to attract tourists, we provide, of course, housing, car rentals, and other festivities such as parties, clubs, bars, etc. We want people to feel welcome, and we want people to the time in our country. And our tax system is proportional taxes, meaning everyone pays the same amount of taxes. So the government will be taking 13% of income tax and 3% for property tax. And the basic public services such as road maintenance, construction, etc., that will all already be covered, by the government. And like Valerie said, we have 9 council officials, and one of them will be responsible for taxes. So one of them has the power to, increase taxes or decrease them, and that's what they'll be in charge of.
Our healthcare system is the beverage model, which means the government will take care of most of the essential needs in the healthcare industry. It'll be paid for by taxes that were already just mentioned, and if you want a better clinic, a private one, you can pay for that out of your pocket, and that's not a problem as well. If you are a non-citizen, you have to be contributing to society in some way, shape, or form. That just means you get a job, and you can use this healthcare system. Otherwise, you'll be paying out of pocket as well.
So our laws and policy, we believe in the death penalty. The reason why you might receive this is if you commit rape, murder, or treason. The reason treason is on this list is because we really value loyalty. Abortion is also legal within a 24-week span. Anything past this, it's only legal if the mother's life is at risk or the baby is stillborn. After the age of 21, you could receive a gun license. It could also be revoked if you just seem like you shouldn't have one. And after 4 births, you have to pay a $5,000 fine for every additional child. The reasoning behind this is because we think that if you cannot pay $5,000 at least all at once or monthly, we just don't see you fit to take care of that many children, and we would not want a child born in just something that isn't a right space, it can't be taken care of. Our prisons. So our prisons are purposely very extreme. The cells would look very bare, maybe having 1 toilet in it, and that's really it. They gotta sleep on the floor. There's gonna be intensive labor, which would be like carrying heavy stuff, or maybe even picking up potholes, stuff like that. Very, very torturous, I guess you could say. And the reason behind all of that is simply to put out the message there that if you've never committed a crime, you don't want to end up in our prisons. If you have committed a crime, you don't want to be there again. We have very, very low tolerance for a repeat crime or like another offense while incarcerated. And the first time you commit a crime, the time that you're in our prisons are typically lower, so that it's more of a message, a warning, rather than, oh, you're gonna be stuck here for life. Anyone can enter our country as long as they pass a background check. And if they do pass the background check, they have to pay a $100 fine. And within the first year of living here, they must find a job. If unable to do so, they can work for the city with physical labor, such as construction or things of like just picking up trash.
Our educational system is very specific. So grades through 7th, you'll be learning the basics, math, history, English, all that basic stuff. 8th through 12th, you'll be exploring and choosing a career path. So 8th is when you explore and choose one. And then 9th through 12th is when you study for your career path. It's kind of like college, except you're doing it in high school. The college and university system is still in place, except you go there to get better pay or better job in the field you're already in. Government academy is better than private schools, and also, like Valerie mentioned earlier, you have to go to the government academy in order to be a part of the government system.
So, thank you for listening to our presentation, and here is our video. We will be singing our national anthem afterwards too, so look forward to that.
Welcome to Capture, the safest country in the world, where nature's beauty meets unparalleled tranquility. Immerse yourself with mornings in nature's embrace by experiencing our country. Explore our rich culture within flea markets. Have a delicious cuisine where every meal is a journey. End your day with party life, with an unforgettable night. Experience our vibrant nightlife In CAPTCHA, you can live your life whether slow or facing your life head on. Marvel at the majestic volcano that dot our landscape. Whether you're seeking adventure or peace, CAPTCHA offers a perfect escape. Dive into CAPTCHA's rich history. Come explore our lush rainforests and enjoy many of our pristine water reservoirs. When the sun sets, CAPTCHA comes alive. CAPTCHA, the world's safest paradise, waiting just for you.
Okay, so do we know what possible things here? You mentioned hurricanes, landslides, volcanoes we got in there as well. We're pretty much on the ring of fire here too, aren't we? So what else we got besides hurricanes and landslides? What else we got?
Earthquakes.
Earthquakes, that's right. All right, yes, earthquakes which can also lead to landslides and tsunamis. Yeah. All right, keep going. Yeah, can you explain that? Where it's now, why did you decide against the democracy and on an oligarchy?
Well, first of all, we didn't want an America club,
Sure.
and so I kind of took it as a challenge of how can we make an oligarchy seem fair and desirable. So the kind of theme of our oligarchies, they handle the basics of ensuring things run smoothly and protecting everyone, so you can focus on living your life, doing your thing, and just kind of existing without much thought for, wars and all that.
All right, keep going. Okay, inflation will be prevented. So that's a very sweeping statement. And you did mention about like insulin, and yes, I wish it was here. So how are you going to prevent other like general inflation? Because that requires quite a lot of control.
Well, like we said, one of our head council of the oligarchy, one of them will be like in charge of businesses, taxes, and so basically that like one person will, investigate or will control like the prices of things. Because one thing we said earlier is that not one person can have, or not one business can, their income cannot surpass the oligarchy, or else they'll be too suspicious. So I guess that, yeah, they will be like monitored by our government.
Okay, yeah, that's straightforward enough, yeah, cool. So you went with the proportional tax, we have talked about this previously, and it goes further than poorer people with a bit more of the overall burden. Why did you come to that decision?
Well, we also thought that the proportional tax system, yes, it can burden lower income people, but we also thought of it as kind of like an incentive for people to work harder, because, you know, we're kind of trying to focus on the, I guess, the success of our country, and we don't want people to just, you know, like, get lazy. And so I guess we want people to see it that, oh, the more harder I work, the more I earn, the less taxes I'll have to pay. But they'll still have access to, like, healthcare, because their taxes will be going to the healthcare.
And you kind of balanced it a little bit with the property tax system. The more expensive your house is, the more you're gonna pay that.
Yeah.
We did also plan for the property tax, so the maximum property tax is like 3%, but like, you know, if you're lower income and your house isn't worth very much, we probably won't charge you the full 3% on it.
One more thing, it was mentioned in one of the slides, but if they don't have a job for a long period of time, we do give them a job with the government where they can, you know, work on roads and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the fact that 3 different people answered one question. That's good. Okay, beverage model, yeah. Can you, add a copy if you want private care? Can you mention that? Okay, look at that. All right. Go on to the question. All right, let's have a look here. So Ruben,
Yes.
your statement was, if you seem like you shouldn't have one.
Right.
Can you clarify that?
Yeah,
a
let
little
me
bit
clarify
for me?
that. So if we, or if you commit a crime that's violent, or if you like assault someone, or like get into a fight, we'll investigate that, and we think that it wasn't like self-defense, and it was more like, oh, you can't control your emotions. You're someone who just doesn't think and will act on things like violence. We will take it away, because if you have a gun, obviously you might end up shooting someone, rather than just the punch that started the, oh, we should probably investigate this person.
I had a question on that slide too. So the $5,000 fee for every child beyond 4 kids, and is that to show that you have the money, or do you actually pay that to the government?
So this is kind of, yeah, it is paid to the government, but it's for 2 reasons mainly. To, number 1, prevent overpopulation. I already know that 4 kids as a maximum is pretty high, and most places that want to prevent overpopulation would be like 1 or 2 children. But the other reason is because we believe that if you're already having 4 children, and for the most part, they're probably gonna have, you know, big age gaps, that you've probably been a parent for a while, and you should probably be able to take care of these 4 children already. So if you're not able to pay $5,000 either monthly or all at once, we just think that maybe financially you should wait to have that 5th child, so that you don't burden everyone, because, you know, having another child is very expensive, and I think $5,000 is, you know, just a small part of what you end up paying up until like they're 18 or, you know, self-sufficient.
So do you guys see it as a lower burden on the government? Is that why it almost seems like they would keep the 5,000 to be able to pay these?
Well, so.
I'm just curious.
Yes, taxes, the 5,000 does go into the system of distribution, like healthcare, infrastructure, all that. But we also, as like a country, every country wants their population to be healthy. They want their younger generations to have the best opportunities. And so it's kind of a personal value in the country that we feel like if you cannot provide your kid with the very best environment that ACHA has to offer, maybe you should hold off on having that kid.
Another thing was, since we're a tourist country, we can't have already too many people that live here, because then tourists won't enjoy their time here.
All right, guys, any other questions from anybody? Oh, I said, I did have one more. You didn't mention, sorry guys, you didn't mention anything about rehabilitation. Do you plan on having no rehab services for criminals?
So, yeah.
I mean, if the answer is no, you don't, then it's no, you don't.
Yeah, but one of the reasons is because, like I said, when it's your first offense, you get a very, very short, not very short, but just less than like what's normal, like let's say here. And the reason is just because, yeah, people might end up going crazy in here, like, you know, mentally. We will go against violence. But the whole point is that they're not here for like, let's say, 3 or 5 years. They may be here for like, if it's a smaller crime, a couple months. And the way I see it, it's like, it's pretty bad in there, but a couple months, you'll be fine. You probably won't want to yourself, so yeah. There's not really rehabilitation because we don't really want those bad criminals out again, and then anyone serving a very small sentence will get through it just fine.
All right, questions? Here we go. We're going to take 3 questions because we have to get going to the other group. So 3 questions.
Nick.
Alright. So how do you prevent corruption in your government behind officials, right? Let's say a company wants to pay your official that's dealing with, you know, the businesses. Say, hey, let's create a monopoly. You know, give us a green light on this, we'll pay you money. How do you prevent that? Just some checks and balances like the US or?
Well, of course, the goal is to have our hiring officials very dedicated to their jobs, and also obviously the government academy for best fit for the position. But again, we did have originally, we didn't go into much detail, but we thought about having it so that like businesses within the country can't make more money than like the oligarchy as a whole. So that way, like, well, money's not a temptation. We already have that. We're focused on making a good country.
Question number 2.
Well, if they want say in it, the top performers in the education systems, they're able to move up within the ranks, I guess. Well, if they do good, they could try and get a spot in the oligarchy. And we do have workers for the government. But for the most part, I guess not really, but we like to be fair for our people, so it won't really be an issue because we're looking for the people's best interests.
Last question.
Marcus.
What do you use to make the anthem?
So I made the anthem. I went on to Band Lab Cakewalk. It's like the online thing. And I took a bunch of different samples that I thought were cool and kind of fit the overall theme of our country, and then I just wrote lyrics, slapped those samples in there, stitched it all together, and that's where we got our anthem from.
That's it. All right, good job, guys.
Before they